Hey guys, it's Paul. So today I wanted to talk about the age-old casual versus competitive Yu-Gi-Oh debate. It's something that everybody just loves to hate because we're all Yu-Gi-Oh players. We gotta disagree on something. It wouldn't be a normal day if we didn't. Yeah, this one's fun because I've got lots and lots of thoughts, and I probably won't even really be able to like scratch the surface here. But I wanted to talk about it because people oftentimes ask me sort of where I fall in this, what camp I'm in, what side, and just what I think about the whole thing. Because it's nuanced. But let's start simple. So you've got two broad ranges of players, and you can't be anywhere in between, apparently. You're either a try hard, meta sheep. You spend all the money that you can on this game, and you have no fun, and you copy and paste all the same decks. You have no originality. You would even go so far as to cheat if it meant winning, and you're a terrible person. You are mean to everybody at your shop. You think you're better than everybody else. You think no one is worth your time, and you only play the best decks. You only have the best cards. Maybe you only use cloth playmats because you're uppity. Maybe you only play Starlight rare copies of cards because you want to show off. Maybe you claim to, know what's best for the game. Whatever. You're a casual ass, okay? You're over there. That's the one side, right? You're either there or you're a filthy casual player. You have no money. You're a noob, you're a scrub, you can't play this game, you must not want to get better. There's really no reason why you're playing this game at all. Why even bother if you're not here to win? You play all these shitty anime decks that suck. You don't even seem to understand how hand traps work. You don't understand chain blocking. Wow, scrub. And, honestly, you've been playing this game for like 10 years and you still haven't won a tournament yet? What are you doing? You are just a boomer. All you know how to do is talk about old anime decks, and you only play Black Wings. You're stuck in 2010. You're a casual Yu-Gi-Oh player. Alright, so now that we've got both sides of the room seething, let's break this down a little bit. Casual versus competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Long time debate. This is not something that's exclusive to this game. Not at all. This happens in so many different communities. I want to say just gaming communities, but really you can find it almost anywhere. But it is especially prevalent in gaming communities. There's a group of people who, take something very seriously. They're very hardcore, they're very committed, and they play, competitively. There's usually a meta game, they're usually following it, they want to win, they want to improve. And then usually you've got a group of people who play a game casually because they maybe have a limited amount of time. Maybe they just want to play for fun. Maybe their budget is limited. Maybe they just simply are kind of trying it out and then they leave. For some reason, these two sides always seem to come to a head. And what I tend to notice is that a lot of people make assumptions about the other side. And maybe the biggest thing is that a lot of people assume that you're one or the other. Because that's how I was presenting it earlier, right? You're in one camp or you're in the other. It's black or it's white, right? You can't be both and you can't be anywhere in between. But what I think the truth is that most people lie in between. I, for instance, lie in between. I am a person who, I have played my fair share of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! In the past, somewhat even recently. In 2019, I was playing in a couple of regionals. I got a couple of tops. I was very proud of myself. I also topped at an OTS event. That was really nice. I was playing in YCS Dallas. I was undefeated. I was doing well. Then my deck got stolen, but that's a different story. I'm not bitter, I promise. So, I was having kind of a real competitive Yu-Gi-Oh streak. And then that turned me off to events for a while. Then I went to another regional a few months later and got second or nearly second, really some really good placing. I don't remember exactly what it was, playing Cyber Dragons. And it was fun. I had a really great time. This is all late 2019, early 2020. And I've had plenty of experience with competitive Yu-Gi-Oh in the past. That's something that not a lot of people actually know about me. I've played, in regionals for many, 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 many years. I followed the metagame for many, 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 many years. This is not a new territory for me. However, I have a very casual side that I like to indulge quite often. I have found a recent just joy in playing really like, just obscure low tier decks. A lot of the archetypes that release in new sets that just kind of get overlooked, I've just enjoyed playing them. I built a Rose Dragon deck recently that I've told you guys about. Dual Avatar is something that I've been actually building and playing a lot recently. I have a Rika deck that I enjoy. I have a Witchcrafter deck that I enjoy. I've been playing Madolche. I play all of these decks to varying degrees of competitiveness, never really the tip top or anything. Usually I don't like playing with hand traps. I don't really like playing with a lot of today's super powerful polarizing staples like Evenly Matched and Lightning Storm, especially when I'm playing with my friends. When I play with my friends, I actually prefer to keep it super casual, super fun. No hard feelings. We usually will take hand traps and stuff out of decks. I just find it more fun to play that way. I've made a video about how I like playing decks really pure, and I kind of try to avoid just the common sort of meta engine, throw Alistair in something or throw Dragoon in something. And not so much for me. So how can it be that I'm in both camps? It really depends on who I'm playing with and just how I'm feeling at the time. Sometimes I'll have a competitive streak that'll last a few months, and I just don't really want anything to do with it. Sometimes I'll have a super casual streak, but then other times I'm just like, I kind of want to take this game seriously and try to win more at a big event. And it just varies. I think that for a lot of people, the big problem then comes from when you place yourself in an area or a setting that doesn't reflect what you want out of the game. What I mean is, if you're a filthy casual, I'm using air quotes here, but if you're a casual player and you play on a budget, you don't play a lot, you don't completely understand the rules to a T, you don't completely follow the meta, you like playing decks more so just for fun or for theme or whatever, then going to a regional or YCS probably isn't gonna be the best place to be. You will get, OTK'd a lot, or you will have to stare down some, unbreakable board, sit through some long combos. It's gonna sort of suck. Now, you can view that two ways. You can either, be upset and complain and be like, oh, this sucked. Wow, all these people are playing the same deck and it just destroyed me all day. How can anybody deal with this? Or maybe it might spur you to want to, transition to that other side and learn those combos and learn how to beat those decks. It doesn't really matter which one, because at the end of the day, it's all up to you. The thing is, though, if you're a super casual player and you go to those events, can you really complain, right? You're going to an event where you have to pay to enter, travel. Of course people are going to take this seriously. Of course they're going to prepare. Of course they're going to play the deck that gives them the best chance of winning, the cards that give them the best chance of winning. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff about the competitive metagame that I don't like. But the cards are legal, and the objective is to win. Why would people not use the strategies that are the strongest? Why would they not gravitate towards the strategies that have been, proven to have the most success? You really can't, implant your idea of what's right and wrong in Yu-Gi-Oh! Onto other people. That's something that really strictly lies with you. I've heard plenty of people make, the argument that well, you should be original and build your own decks and win with your own decks. But that's kind of a moral high ground that only really applies to you. If you want to win without, playing Drytrons, for instance, or Tri-Brigade, some of the top decks now, that's fine. There's other decks you can use, and if you don't want to win with just an established deck at all and you want to make your own original thing, you can't be upset with people for playing the thing that works. It's kind of common sense. That's how it goes. Now then, on the other hand, you've got, competitive players who I think are out of place when they try to play at, a casual, in a casual group of people. If you're playing with people who, don't have loads of money to spend on cards and are playing, just fun decks and don't completely understand the rules, and then you show up with your $1,000 meta deck and stomp them into the ground, and you're chain blocking left and right and making unbreakable boards, really poning some noobs, and then you call them trash. Well, it's well, can you do that? I mean, you're not at a regional, you're not at a YCS, you're not at maybe a serious tournament. Some shops have fun deck tournaments, right? If you show up at the fun deck tournament, you bring your meta deck and you stomp everyone, great, but then this isn't exactly your realm, this isn't really where you're supposed to be. So that goes for both sides. I really feel like you end up with elitists just because people have ideas of how they feel the game should be played, or sort of like these moral things in their head, but like that only applies to you. Not everybody's trying to break every new deck. Not everybody thinks that they can, think 20 steps ahead of their opponent and completely outplay them. It's not really how it works. Also, not everybody, wants to like screw around with casual decks. Some people want to take this very seriously. That's what I mean, is just that like you have to kind of decide for yourself what you want out of this game and accept the fact that what you want out of this game, what you think, the way to play Yu-Gi-Oh is, only applies to you. It does not apply to anybody else. Nobody is beholden to follow your sort of made up idea of what success in Yu-Gi-Oh looks like. If success means winning a YCS with, just a clinically crafted deck, that's one thing. If your idea of success in Yu-Gi-Oh is building a home brew and just having a lot of fun with your friends, that's fine. But don't expect other people to share that point of view. And don't harass other people for disagreeing with you. If somebody's playing, the top meta deck, there's no need to call them a sheep. There's no need to say they have no originality. What does saying that contribute to anything? You're just spewing venom, you're spewing negativity, you're just being an ass. And the same goes for like calling somebody at your locals a scrub because they don't, play the best deck and know every little intricacy of the game. Great, okay, you're better than Yu-Gi-Oh at them. Congratulations, do you want, a medal for this? Great, you called somebody a meta sheep and said they have no originality because they're not playing their own deck. That doesn't change anything. They're not going to stop doing what they do. Like, that's what I mean by that. I've observed this argument for so many years, and I don't know. That's the conclusion I've kind of come to. And as for me, like I said, I bounce back and forth between which of these I want to play. I can definitely appreciate both sides. I've totally been there. So, all I can say is casual Yu-Gi-Oh, competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, two sides of the same coin. We kind of got to have both, a little yin, a little yang. You got to give a little to get a little, right? If you didn't have, casual budget for funsy players, new players, there wouldn't be a scene. There wouldn't be tournaments. You can't, continue to grow on a finite amount of aging players. But also, you need people who want to push things. That's where, competitive tournament integrity comes from, is the idea that you want to win. Yu-Gi-Oh fundamentally is like me versus you, or you versus them, or whatever. Like when you're sitting down and playing, somebody has to win. It's nobody's fault if they want to try harder to win than you, right? Like that doesn't really work. So next time that you're feeling angry or something about, the other side being so awful, just remember that everybody enjoys Yu-Gi-Oh differently, and it's totally okay. Like, honestly, it's fine. And I will reiterate, if you're a super duper casual player, maybe the YCS main event isn't exactly for you. If you're a super duper competitive player, then playing your meta deck with a group of new players on some random weeknight at the card shop to stomp them and then bragging about it, what are you doing? So, yeah. Alright, gone on long enough. This video ended up being probably longer than it needed to be. Let's hear it in the comments. What do you guys think? Casual, competitive, where do you fall? What do you think of the debate? Let's hear it. See you guys in the next one. Fast turn.